Evening, people. Welcome back to the channel. New league for you lot tonight. We've got NXGN Racing's Lamborghini Gr3 league tonight. We are live from Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya. Gr3 layout. Tricky little track, this one. I quite like it. Final section. Yo, Gr3, how you doing? It's been a while. Yep, so new league. Let me just post this because they want it. There you go, have some of that. Link sent. Shout out to new subscriber Jordan Norwood. Thank you very much, my friend. Appreciate it. He is in this lobby tonight, so you'll see that man racing. I'm not sure if we're waiting for 5-minute qualifying begins. Alright, they're not messing about tonight then. So we did try this league last week, but Godzilla won the fight and we had to postpone. Matt Marshall, evening mate, how are you doing? I'm not well enough. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. Bobby picking himself up a penalty. So all on out laps at the minute. Liking your livery tonight, P1 Pilgrim. Weiss in the house as well. We'll find out at some point who's done these liveries. I don't know whether they've done them themselves. I think one or two of them have. I'm not sure whether Bob's done a few. Bob is lobby host. He set this whole league up. We won't look at Bob though. Next Gen Danzo, Matt Black Lamborghini, mid-rear cars. In fact, okay, they're a while away from the start. Let me just drop out and have a quick look at lobby settings. Oh, not change car, don't want to be doing that. Take too much time. Okay, so no damage, tyre wears off, fuel depletion is ×5. What was brake horsepower, etc.? I didn't see that. 576, and the cars are weighing 1230 kilograms. Get ourselves back on track then. So they are lobby settings. Half an hour race for you lot tonight. Hopefully we see you in the lobby next week, Mr. Marshall. Pilgrim Paddy then, still first man out on track. Let's see what he's got. So 145.4 then for Pilgrim. Weiss 16 147.5. So he's a 145.4. Puts himself fourth. Bobby's gone quicker and Jay Norwood's gone quicker. So Bobby's putting a 142.9. Oh! Contact between Bob and Pilgrim. I don't know what Bob was looking at there. Pilgrim was alright, he was still on the track a tiny bit, but it's not as if he was hiding. Jay Norwood then, new subscriber, gets himself into second position on the grid. He is just taking his time a little bit, giving himself some space before he attempts his next lap, if he gets one. NXGN Saxo, 143.5, third position. Gr3, oh, you are racing tonight, 143.8. The two-tone livery. Let's see who's got the biggest darksmoka logo throughout this season. Duds, that's what I'm calling you. 146.2. 7th position. Weiss is now down in 8th, 147.5. Subertus, he's on a 152.8. The Carter liveried Lamborghini. Bobby holding top spot. Jay Norwood looking for that space then. Drifting that Lamborghini through the final chicane. Oh, and again, just getting a little bit tail happy on that curb. It's going to be an interesting watch, that is, that final turn. So that one obviously wasn't quick up. Okay, so that is qualifying over. Just waiting for the last couple of drivers to finish. A little bit of a burnout from Jay Norwood, thank you very much. People doing some. Who else we got? Who else we got doing burnouts? Danzo, he's giving us a bit of a show. Gr3, he's always one for a bit of a burnout. Remember taking your tyres out today. So, here we go. Round one of the new Gr3 Next Gen Lamborghini League. What are you doing to that car, Gr3? Why haven't I picked up a track map for this circuit? Nope, nope, nope. Damn it. Right, 30 minutes. Let's see what they've got. Just wait for these lights to drop. They're away. Quick off the line, these Lamborghinis. Mid-rear cars. Roberta's getting a great start, pinning himself through the middle in the Takata livery. Bobby under threat for that first place from Gr3. Slips one down the inside, takes top spot. Bobby second then. Danzo. Oh, sorry, it's Saxo just keeping it on track in the background. Jay Norman's got himself up into third. Saxo then we saw running a little bit wide. He's in fourth. Random angle there, PlayStation. Weiss fifth, Danzo sixth, and Bertus all over the rear end of that matte black Lamborghini. Oh, so Bertus has run wide. Oh, has he taken anyone else out? He's just clipped Duds by the looks of it. Still drivers. Oh, some glitching going on as well. Oh dear, that's never a good sign. I'm not going to look at that anymore, it's hurting my brain. Right, back up the front. Gr3 still leading, 0.4 of a second over MRC Bobby. Head into this almost hairpin. He's picked himself up a little bit of a penalty there, run himself a tiny bit wide as well. Bob sneaks through. Jay Norman, unfortunately, takes that corner a little bit wide, not able to slip one down the inside, so he's in third position. Gr3 still got to lose that penalty though. Saxo clinging onto the back of the top three. Weiss just getting a little bit squiffy into the chicane. Oh, great big cut to the curb there. He's gone wide there. He's probably going to pick up a little bit of a penalty for that. Gr3 drops his penalty there. And there is Weiss's penalty, 0.5 seconds. So can Danzo take advantage of that? Tries to big one down the inside as as Weiss tries to drop his penalty into turn one. So Bertus back on track in seventh. To close that gap down. He's under pressure from Duds though in eighth. Oh, Duds going a tiny bit wide. He's just keeping it on track. P1 Pilgrim trying to get back in this fight. Goes up the inside of Duds. Takes that eighth position off him. Apologies, getting used to these names. Names in the new league, all of them obviously. MRC Bobby then starting to pull a bit of a gap, 1.5 seconds out front from now second place Next Gen Saxo. Oh, he's got a little bit tail happy. He's collared into Jay Norman, pushed Jay Norman wide. He's got it back on track, but he's lost a lot of time in a couple of positions. He's now down in fifth under pressure from Next Gen Danzo, all over his rear end. He's gone defensive, there's nothing else he can do. We've got Suburtis. Was that Suburtis getting himself back on track, or Weiss on ghosting? Real punchy in these Lamborghinis. The midfield pack still quite close together. Guys at the back just catching back up as well. Right. How far are you off, Bob? 1.3 seconds. The gap being reduced. Gr3 looking to hunt him back down. Got himself back past Saxo. Bit of a gap developed there as well. 1.2 seconds. Jay Norwood back up into fourth. 1.5 seconds the gap now to the top three. Suburtis getting himself up into fifth. NXGN Danzo all over his rear end. Suburtis having to go defensive into turn one. Danzo chucks one down the outside, but outbrakes himself. Suburtis able to get that position back, so holds on to fifth. A little bit drifty, these Lamborghinis, by the look of it. One on the racing super softs. So Danzo's got to try again. Suburtis though, putting in purple first sector. Danzo goes a tiny bit wide. That's not going to help his attack on Suburtis in front. Weiss then seventh, another 1.3 seconds down. Oh, Suburtis has run wide. Oh, Suburtis down in seventh, he's going to be eighth. P1 Pilgrim, unfortunately, all the way down in ninth. He's 6.5 seconds back as well. Not sure what's happened to P1 Pilgrim. Unfortunately, if you're new to my channel, I haven't got the standard overtake, the standard replay function that everyone else has got. For some reason, mine doesn't work, just takes me back to the start of the race. So Bobby, gap reduced down to half a second. Gr3 is not having that lead. No, not yet, he's not. He's hunting it down though. Saxo still in third, closing that gap back up as well. Jay Norwood's only 1.1 seconds back. Everyone keeping it reasonably tidy through that chicane. Gr3 pick up another bit of penalty, yes he did. Norwood then sticks in fastest lap of the race so far, 1:43.0. Gr3 tries to drop his penalty into turn one, almost. Still within striking distance of MRC Bobby, only 0.8 of a second back. NGR, NXGN Danzo, Saxo, less than a second back as well. Jay Norwood's lost another 10th. Big gap developed back to 5th place, NXGN Danzo. 3.9 seconds. He's also got a bit of a breathing route behind him. 2.3 seconds back to Weiss in 6th. Just picks himself up a penalty as well. Yeah, still some glitching going on in this lobby. So Suburtis back on track in 8th. Still trying to drift that Lamborghini. But not far off him. P1 Pilgrim close that back up, gap back up 4.7 seconds. Keep an eye on Pilgrim. So Bobby's still under threat. Saxo's closed that gap right up on him as well. So there's less than a second between the top three at the minute. So on board with Saxo. The drivers bumper to bumper as they head out this final turn. Trying to get themselves in the slipstream. Still just over a second. It's dropping again now. The slipstream's starting to take effect. Gr3 drops his penalty. Still a little bit deep there for Saxo. Does keep in touch, loses the tail a tiny bit. Just a couple of tenths to Gr3 in front, still within striking distance. Jay Norwood has closed that gap on him as well though. He's less than a second back from Saxo. Let's see purple sectors from him as well. Like it's going to end up being a four-way fight at the front. See if Danzo can close the gap up to these four drivers in front of him. Oh, still got Weiss doing all sorts of things on track. It's disgusting. I'm not looking. Some Bertus then under all sorts of pressure still from Duds. Picked himself up a big chunk of penalties, 0.8 seconds he's holding at the minute. Oh, he's gone a little bit deep there. Ah, what has happened there? Fired himself. Looked like he got that back on track. Weiss has left the room. Yeah, that glitching just a little bit too much. Yeah, you look like you've got yourself back on track, Bertus, but all of a sudden you decided to peel off left and into a wall. Interesting choice. And now under pressure from P1 Pilgrim for that 7th position. In fact, you're losing it to P1 Pilgrim. Comes through. A bit tricky around these tight turns. So they're a little bit tail happy, that's for sure. So Bobby still leading. Again, only just Burnt Fry right on his tail. Bit of a gap developed back to Saxo now in 3rd. 1.3 seconds back still. Just gains a couple of tenths. Yeah, very drifty. What's happened to Jay Norwood in the pits? Okay. Taking on board fuel. Danzo then comes through to take 4th. Duds 5th, not stopped yet. Pilgrim not stopped either, so 6th. Jay Norwood comes back out the pits in 7th. A full tank of fuel. 20 minutes left of this race. Is he going to run to the end on that? So Bertus comes out also full tank. He's took himself a set of racing softs on. Interesting choice with no tyre wear. Maybe liking the slide. Bobby, this is got Burnt Fry clambering all over you. How have you not been overtaken yet? So through this final little sector, is Burnt Fry just using the slipstream to save a little bit of fuel, try and gain the advantage. Top 3 don't stop. They're trying to empty tanks. Bob just putting in the fastest lap of the race, 1:42.9. No, it's not, it's a 1:42.7 right behind by Saxo. Right, let's go and have a look. Bob, get control of that car. Bob just under half a tank. Let's just flick over to Burnt Fry. Burnt Fry's actually used a little bit more fuel. Okay, maybe just looking to save a little bit now while he was out front originally. Weiss, yeah, you were glitching a little bit, mate, and then you left. That's a shame. So Bobby's still under threat then. Saxo closed that gap back up. Top 3 now 13 seconds back from Danzo. Stopped. Duds 5th again, yes, not stopped for him, just over quarter of a tank for Duds. Pilgrim again not stopped. First of the drivers that has is Jay Norwood sitting in 7th at the minute, 33 seconds back from race leader. See what happens when everyone else comes in the pits. Top 3 are still bumper to bumper. Almost one blob on the screen in the mini-map in the top corner. So Burnt Fry does decide to come in. Does Saxo follow him? No, Saxo stays out. He's going to try and hang on to Bob. 1.2 seconds back. So just out of slipstream range at the minute. He's closing up on Bobby though. So Danzo still not stopping either. Sitting in 3rd now. Burnt Fry back out the pits, full tank, 17, just under 17.5 minutes left of this one. Should be able to make that last. Duds again not stopped. Jay Norwood. So back up into 6th. Pilgrim again not stopped. Seb Cerberus stopped earlier on as well, so he's down to 3/4 of a tank, sitting in 8th. 8 seconds back from nearest rival P1 Pilgrim. P1's yet to stop yet, though. Saxo losing a bit more time to Bob in front, 1.4 seconds the gap. Picked himself up a penalty, loses it through there. That was the wrong way. Still got 1/4 of a tank on, they can go for a few more laps on that. It's a nice looking livery you've got there, Bob. So when you decide to come in now, it's pretty much half distance. No, still stays out. Saxo as well. So Danzo holding on to that third, but not for long. His red light's flashing on his dash. Might try and squeeze one more lap out of it. No, comes in the pits now. That releases Gr3 back up into third. Just finished out lap. 17 seconds down from race leader. But, the two drivers in front have got to stop. Dud's also in the pits now. Jane Norwood coming through, so he should get himself back up into 4th. Pilgrim still not stopped either. So Danzo comes back out of the pits into 5th. Pilgrim comes in 6th. Cerberus 7th. Is he, or does Dud come out of the pits in front of him? Just gets out of the pits in front of him, or he holds the position into turn 1. He does. Oh, he's lost it though. He's lost it. He's put himself in the sand. That's a shame. Just got himself out in front of Cerberus. Sticks it in the sand. Now 4.8 seconds back. So race leader Bob had his gap reduced down to almost half a second. Still not stopped these two. So again, Bobby stays out. Saxo comes in this time. Does close that gap up. Will Gr3 get through and take that second position? He should do. As long as he doesn't bin it. Don't take the fact that he's moved up into 2nd as anything yet. Quite a long straight. I think he is. He's carrying enough speed to take Saxo as he comes out of the pits. Saxo just has to swing it in behind Gr3. 0.3 of a second. So this battle then could be raging to the end. Bob should be in at the end of this lap. We'll see where the two drivers behind come out. He gets released. Let's go check up on Jay Norwood. So 33 seconds back from race leader. That gap will come down. It's 15.3 seconds back from Saxo at the minute. We'll keep an eye on that time, see if he can close that one up. Still got a bit of breathing room behind. 8.9 seconds to NXGN Danzo. Cerberus 6th, half a tank on board. Will that see you to the end? You have to do a little squeaky stop at the end. I think you might have to stop yet, Cerberus. Dud's holding 7th, 3.2 back from Cerberus. Might be able to gain that advantage if Cerberus does have to come in the pits. Pilgrim, so stopped now, just picks himself up a little bit of a penalty. 5.3 back from Dud's. Bob in the pits now then. Taking on board fuel. These two still bumper to bumper. Coming through that final chicane. Can Bob get back out in front of him? Yes. It's going to be close as they come into turn 1. Saxo going for a dive down the inside of Gr3 as he just drops his penalty. So he drops himself into 3rd, but Still within striking distance of the two in front. So Bobby comes out the pits, picks himself up a penalty, 0.3 seconds, but 1.2 second gap between himself and now second place Saxo. Purple sector from Saxo, still holding that fastest lap of the race as well. Gr3 harassing him from all angles. Closing that gap up on Bob in front though. Close that gap down a little bit has Jay Norwood, down to 14.8. Might be a little bit too late in the game to close it up that much before the end of the race. 11 minutes remaining. Danzo 14 seconds back in 5th, having a little bit of a lonely race. He's got another 7.8 seconds back to Subertus in 6th. Interesting. Your fuel levels. What do we think, people? Is he going to make it? Don't you, Gr3, don't you answer. Is Dud's going to be able to take that 6th position off of Bertus? 3.4 seconds back. Gain that regardless of whether Subertus takes on board fuel or not, just driving through the pits. Pilgrim closing that gap back up then, below the 5 second mark. Close the gap. He might be able to make a bit of a move on Subertus if he comes in the pits for fuel. Right, I've missed a lead change. Saxo's managed to sling one past Bob up into 1st then. The gap was coming down between the top 3. Saxo gained a tiny bit of penalty though. Bob has managed to drop his, so can he close the gap back up? 3/4 of a second between 1st and 2nd. Just 0.3 of a second between 2nd and 3rd. So pulls almost a second gap, does Saxo. Has he just waited right until the end to start showing these boys what he's got at the beginning of the season? Gr3 still bumper to bumper through that final little turn there to the chicane. Saxo pulls another 10th on these two. Can he keep that up? Bob chucks one across the chicane. Does he pick up a penalty? Close the gap up. Took a couple of 10ths out of Saxo's time. Yes, he picked up a penalty far too tight through that chicane. Make a bit of time up on Gr3. I think Gr3 will close that back up into 1st turn. He does, as Bob tries to drop that penalty. Saxo also losing his penalty, 0.1 seconds he's got to drop. Gap below 1 second between Bob and Saxo. Just jumps for the 2nd mark again. Gr3 still hanging on to 3rd. Is he going to make a late lunge? 8 minutes remaining. Jay Norwood, more time out of the top 3. 12.9 seconds back. Purple sectors from him as well. He's now holding fastest lap of the race. 1:42.5 on that last lap. What are they lapping at in front? 1:43s at the minute. Saxo putting in 1:42, so Jay Norwood keep that pace up. We'll close that gap back up on Gr3 Bob, but I still don't think he'll be close enough to make any kind of challenge. So starting to pull more of a gap over 6th place Subertus. A gap up to 11 seconds. Subertus, your fuel tank. Oh. Holding the gap over Duds. What's happened to Pilgrim? Pilgrim lost it somewhere. 11.5 seconds back for Pilgrim now. Of course, closing that gap back up on the Duds in front. So just keep your eye out for 6th place Albertus, the big P's to turn up against his name. Norwood's in the pits. Having a look at your fuel, I wasn't paying attention. That's a shame. We're closing the gap back up. So another purple sector there for Saxo. Keeps that second gap between himself and Bob. Bob's now got a second between himself and Gr3 as well. Jay Norwood does get back out of the pits. It holds that 4th position, but now it's almost 30 seconds back from Gr3. And he's got a NXGN Danzo, only 3.4 seconds back now. So is there anything that NXGN Danzo can do? Jay Norwood's been pretty consistent lap time wise, he's been pretty quick. We look at NXGN Danzo's, it's 145s, not as consistent as Jay Norwood's in from 143s, 142s, apart from his pit laps. So just got his fuel in a little bit wrong in race 1. Let's go and see what's happening up front. Saxo still holding that second lead over MRC Bobby. Bobby had his gap reduced. Gr3's closed that down to less than a second. Gr3 just picking up fastest lap of the race, 142.5. So as they shed the weight and the fuel. Bit of time though, Gr3 now 1.3 seconds back from Bob, even with that fastest lap. Bob has managed to close that gap back up on Saxo. It's down to 0.3 seconds. 5 minutes remaining. Can Bob regain that race lead? Saxo's testing the drift capability of the Lamborghini in front. It's allowed Bob to close up. Tiny little love tap through there. Both drivers keep it on track. Gr3 still lurking in the background, about a second back. Might be a little bit further, 1.6 seconds back. He's managed to pick himself up a penalty, so he's got to worry about dropping that as well. Bob's chucking in purple sectors now. Danzo goes a little bit deep on that. Bob tries to chuck one down the inside, didn't quite work out for him. Able to carry that speed or put the hammer down as early as he'd liked. Saxo keeps hold of that top spot then. 4 minutes remaining. Bob all over the rear end of Saxo as they come onto this start-finish straight, carrying a better speed as well. NXGN Saxo getting a little bit tail happy out of the final turn. He's got the inside line into the first turn. Who's going to take it? Side by side through there. Bob's just going to hold out. He's going to take that one if he keeps it on track. He does. Saxo has to slot himself into second. Turn into a great final couple of laps this. 3.5 minutes remaining. Bob taking the lead. Saxo second. Big gap back to Gr3 now. 12.5 seconds. Have you been in the pits, Gr3? Take on board fuel. I think you have. Can Bobby hold on to it for another 3 minutes? Saxo's got to try and keep himself within striking distance as well. He can't let Bob get too far down the road. Otherwise his opportunities will start dwindling. Bobby hold on to it. Saxo right there with him. So on board with MRC Bobby. As we look at a NXGN Saxo hunting him down for that top spot. Bob gets a good exit out of the chicane, 0.7 seconds. That is going to benefit him no end. gap to 0.8 of a second between Bobby and NXGN. So safe from an attack into turn 1. 1 minute 56 left on the clock. We're going to see another lap. So 3/4 of a second between first and second. Saxo unable to close the gap up yet. Bob pulls another 10th. And another 10th gap, just over a second. 1.1 then. You can see NXGN Dan Saxo just getting a little bit smaller. Gap at 1.3, 1.4. Bob's decided enough is enough. I want the win. 1.6, 1.7. Don't muff it up on the final lap, Bob. This is not the final lap, by the way. Just under a minute remaining. I'll hit the start-finish line before that timer ticks down. We'll only see Bobby and Saxo cross that line, I think. So he holds that 1.7, 1.8 second gap. Final lap then. Bobby leads 2.3 seconds over Saxo. Big gaps back to third place now, 10.6 seconds to CRT Gr3. Still holding a bit of a penalty. Jay Norwood still holding fourth. He's had a little bit of a lonely second stint of the race, pretty much on his own. There was a tiny bit of threat from Danzo, but I think Danzo's had to take it a little bit easy. Norwood then, first of the finishers, comes home in fourth. It's a good race, some good laps as well. 1:41.9 as well right at the end there. Storming lap. Takes fastest lap of the race. Well, does he? We'll see. So Danzo coming across the line to take fifth. Great big screaming handbrake. That's what we want. Duds. So it didn't look like. Duds taking sixth then. Pilgrim taking seventh. Yes, it looked like Bertus did have to come in the pits for fuel. Yeah. So he's going to come home to take that final spot, 8th. Did lose a couple of drivers. Right, Bobby. Yep, he's taking the win, unless he throws it into the bin. One of the next 2 turns. 4.5 second lead over Saxo then. Looks like Saxo looks quite comfortable, happy with second place. Bobby, nice win at the end there. Good last few laps between those two. And there he goes, sneaks that fastest lap off of Jay Norwood as well. Saxo coming home second then. Gr3, last of the finishers, in third. What was Bobby's time? 1:41.889 versus Jay Norwood's. Oh, I missed it. Damn it. It was a 9 something. I know that. Yeah. Good racing. I enjoyed that. So that was round 1 of the next gen. Ooh, that was round 1 of the next gen Lamborghini League. I hope you join us next week. That was all right. The last few laps were a bit punchy between Saxo and Bob. It was very good. Unfortunate Sir Bertus had to dive in the pits at the end, so he ends up 8th. Lost Weiss. His internet connection just wasn't having it. It's a bit of a shame. Let's hope he gets a better connection next week. But that was it. That was round 1. Pretty punchy. I hope you enjoyed it. Next gen Mad Marshall, get yourself on track next week if you're feeling better, obviously. You'll find out what happened to Gr3. Why did he lose all the time to those drivers? Why? I'm sure we'll find out. Right, what have I got coming up? Tomorrow night, 8:30, MRC Team Oliver Racing Gr3 League. So round 2 of that, we did manage to squeeze that in during the attacks on Tokyo last week. And then, so Monday we couldn't race, Tuesday we couldn't race, Wednesday we could race, Thursday we couldn't race. It was bizarre. It was bizarre. So yes, back for round 2 of the Gr3 Team Oliver Racing League tomorrow night. Come and check that out. Thursday night, 9 o'clock, I've got the P1 boys back for the Stubby Mac Beetle League. Come and check that out. And then Sunday night, we have got the new Mazdas from the Tanso Racing Group. So same time, 8 o'clock as the Ford Focuses. Danzo, no problem. Jay Norwood, no problem. And then straight after that, at 9 o'clock, we've got P1 Boys and their Super Formula League. So that's 2 on Sunday. The Mazdas at 8 o'clock and the P1 Super Formulas at 9 o'clock. Monday night, 8:30, we're back with the Chewit Racing Mini Cooper Cup with the Tanso Racing Group. So come and check that out. And then, yes, back next week for round 2 of this. I hope you come and check it out. If you fancy helping my channel out, get yourselves over to buymeacoffee.com/darksmoka and drop me a donation if you so wish. Apart from that, I hope you like what you watched. Give it a like, give it a subscribe, tell your mates, tell your mums. My name's Darksmoka. I'm out of it. I did see you comment, Mr. Marshall. Cheers, mate. Bob. No problem, dude. But now I'm out of here.